welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of the Congressional Medal of Honor. Hello, and welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch, and this is a podcast that comes to you twice a week, every Wednesday and Sunday, to tell the true stories of the recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor. This is our nation's highest honor for military service. And before we jump into episode 20, which is going to take us back to Vietnam War, I want to give a big thank you to everyone who has listened and supported this show in one way, shape, or form, whether that be donating any money to go to the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, to supporting our awesome sponsors, or simply sharing the episodes with other people to get the stories out there and to make sure these stories are heard and remembered. So thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough, and let's keep this going. First 20 are down, only a little over 3,000 left to go. So we're making way here pretty quickly, and there are two partners of the show that feel the same way that I do about getting these stories told, and they are DesignCake Studios and Sunrise Linens. And tonight's episode 20, is being brought to you by DesignCake Studios. They're a small creative design company with big, huge talent in graphic and web design. Look, if you are personally branded or your business needs a look or maybe a new look, head on over to DesignCakeStudios.com and see what they got to offer you. There's something for everybody, and I know I did this when I needed a logo made for the Bearded Detailer, and I also needed business cards for my other business, the Bearded Camera, and I had them done. And I could not be any happier with what I got from them. I am always getting compliments on business cards and the logo, which I then incorporated into my website. Look, when you contact them, be sure you tell them that you heard about them here on the podcast, because if you do that, you'll receive a free consultation. DesignCake Studios, fresh thinking, made bold. And now, a tale of honor. Vincent R Capodanno was born on the 13th of February, 1929 in Staten Island, New York, to a family of Italian immigrants, and he was their 10th child. He attended and graduated from Curtis High School in Staten Island, and went on to attend Fordham University for a year. After that year, in 1949, Vincent entered the Maryknoll Missionary Seminary in Ossining, New York, where he would later become an ordained Roman Catholic priest on the 14th of June, 1958. His first missionary assignment was to the Aboriginal Taiwanese in 1959. He served here in a parish and later in a school, and after 7 years, Vincent returned to the U.S. on leave before being assigned to a school in Hong Kong. Vincent received his commission in the Navy Chaplain Corps as a lieutenant on the 28th of December, 1965. He had requested to serve with the Fleet Marine Force in Vietnam, and after some training, he was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division, located in South Vietnam. In December of 1966, Vincent was transferred to the 1st Medical Battalion, 1st Marine Division, and stayed with them until his year-long tour was complete, which he then extended for another tour. In July of 1967, Vincent was assigned to H&S Company, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division, and on the 4th of September, elements of the 1st Battalion became outnumbered near the town of Dong Son during Operation Swift. To give you an idea of how bad things really got during this battle, by 9:14 a.m., 26 Marines had been confirmed killed, and 2 fire companies from the 3rd Battalion had been sent to help, and then 11 minutes later, the commander of the 1st Battalion requested more reinforcements. When Vincent heard about M Company of his battalion and their casualties, and that they were about to be overrun by the enemy, he went among the wounded and dying Marines of 2nd Platoon and helped them and gave last rites. It was during this time that he would be awarded the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty as chaplain of the 3rd Battalion in connection with operations against enemy forces. In response to reports that the 2nd Platoon of M Company was in danger of being overrun by a massed enemy assaulting force, Lieutenant Capodanno left the relative safety of the command company post and ran through an open area raked with fire directly to the beleaguered platoon. Disregarding the intense enemy's small arms, automatic weapons, and mortar fire, he moved about the battlefield administering last rites to the dying and giving medical aid to the wounded. When an exploding mortar round inflicted multiple painful wounds to his arms and legs and severed a portion of his right hand, he steadfastly and refused all medical aid. Instead, he directed the corpsmen to help their wounded comrades, and with calm vigor continued to move about the battlefield as he provided encouragement by voice and example to the valiant Marines. Upon encountering a wounded corpsman in the direct line of fire of an enemy machine gunner positioned approximately 15 yards away, Lieutenant Capodanno rushed a daring attempt to aid and assist the mortally wounded corpsman. At that instant, only inches from his goal, he was struck down by a burst of machine gun fire. By his heroic conduct on the battlefield and his inspiring example, Lieutenant Capodanno upheld the finest traditions of the U.S. Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life in the cause of freedom. The official Medal of Honor ceremony was held on the 7th of January, 1969, in recognition of his selfless sacrifice. In 2002, a cause for canonization was officially opened. This is the process needed to recognize someone for sainthood. Vincent R Capodanno is buried in his family's plot at the St. Peter's Cemetery in West New Brighton, Staten Island, New York. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you so much for listening to Tales of Honor podcast. And if this is your first one you're tuning in, be sure to go back and listen to the first 19. I'm sure you'll like it if you like this one. And if you like the whole podcast, be sure to leave a nice review and a rating, and tell a friend. You can see more information on Facebook, Instagram, and at thebeardeddetailer.com/TOH podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrosch. Thanks for listening.